Hi, today we're going to be playing with some texture paste and making our own texture paste as well. So what I have here is some texture paste by Aladyne, which is an eye zinc, and it's a 3D. And you can see here that, it is shimmery, of course. And I have a feeling if I left it on its side like this for some time, it would actually move in that direction. So I'm just going to take this cosmetic tool here and just pick up some. You can see how smooth it is. And then you're just going to take with your stencil on a piece of paper and just go over it. Now that goes in there really nice and smooth. Any excess you can put back into the jar. It has a feeling like thick paint to me. It's not really sure how else to describe that. The feeling of it. It is a little sticky, I would say, but a little bit more runny than I would have expected. Now, from what I understand is that this dries pretty darn quick, and so once you have what you want on your piece, you can see what we have here. It has a little bit of dimension and some sparkle. So once you have what you want, you really do want to clean up your area and your stencil. So I just have baby wipe here, and I'm just going to go over this. You could put it in a pan of soapy water. There's a little gnat. I think I got him. So yeah, you want to get that cleaned off as quickly as you can. Alright, so now we can move on, and what we're going to do first is use some just white here. Do the same, flip this one over and use the same pattern. And what we're using here is some lightweight spackle. I picked this up at the dollar store, but you can get it, hardware store, whatever. And I don't know if you can see the consistency of this. It is more thick. It looks like, of course, it has a little bit of grit to it. You can see it has a little bit more dimension to it than the other one that seemed a little bit more runny. And if I left this container like so, I doubt that it would ever move. So we're just going to pick some up, put it onto our stencil in the same way. And here I have to kind of push down a little bit more to get it to go into those shapes. But I'm going to get the same, nice coverage. And of course, with the spackle, it's going to be white, and I assume that it's going to dry white as well. So we'll give this a go and see. Because it has a little bit more dimension, you can actually, pick it up a little bit easier, or what I'm trying to say is that in applying it to the stencil, I'm actually picking it up out of the shapes to some extent, which I'm not sure I want that, but guess if you push too hard, like this one, I'm having a little trouble getting that spackle to sit in there. All right, I'm just gonna give that say that's good and move on. So there is our spackle, and it is a little bit thicker than what our texture paste was. And I know that there are some companies who sell some thicker texture paste. So I don't have it on hand, but that is something that we could definitely do a comparison with if we had it. And it would be interesting to see kind of the grit consistency. So the next thing we're going to do is color our spackling and add a little bit of eyeshadow to it to give it the sparkle. So first what I'm going to do is take an ink pad and just put some ink here on my mat, and then I'm going to add some eyeshadow. I think that's probably good for the demo, but you definitely could add more. And then I'm going to add some spackle to color this. So hopefully you can see what I'm doing here. I'm mixing it up. And I'm making it a color. I can see the sparkle in there. Make sure I have it all mixed in well. Alright, now let me just grab another sheet here of something that we can put this on. Put it in the corner here, and I'm going to pick up my purple, which I don't know, I might be off camera with, but you saw me mix it so you know what it is. And I'm just going to apply it into the stencil the same way. And because it's a little bit drier, I feel like I have to give it a little more time, or be a little bit more gentle with my application so that it covers everything I want it to cover. And now I'm just going over it ever so lightly to make sure I've got it in all of the shapes. And what's happening is I'm picking it up instead of leaving it in there. So like I said, this takes a little bit more finesse, I guess, to get it maybe a different tool would work better. Credit card, spatula knife, I'm not sure. Okay, I think that's looking smooth. And so we have a little bit bleed under, definitely has some thickness to it, and so I'm going to let that dry and clean up my space here. I have a little bit of purple left over, so maybe I'll use this on something. And I wonder, let's see what's in this. cleaned up with water. So I'm thinking that I could use a little bit of water into that. Yeah. Okay. So I'm sorry you didn't get to see that. But what I did there was I gave it a couple squirts of water, and look at that. It's a wet consistency now. So I want to add a little bit more of my paste to that. You can see how dry this paste is. Alright, so I've added a little more paste. I'm going to put the lid on this so it doesn't dry out any more than it is. Alright, so water, paste. I'm going to add a little more ink over here just to add some more color. And let's mix this all together and see what we get. So I like the feel of what the spritz of water did here. You can see it's got a whipped feel to it. I'm going to take, I'm messing up with my stencil here. Alright, I'm going to take different stencil. Another piece of cardstock here. Get back in camera so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, we're going to do these flowers. I'm going to add a little more glitz. So I gave it about 3 taps. I'll show you what's on top there. I'm just going to mix that in. I like this lavender color. It's a lot lighter than the stamp pad because it, with Spackle has, you know, some white to it. So, alright, this stencil doesn't have a flat edge, so I'll just go over this and see what we get. I can tell the difference from adding the water. It's behaving a lot better. Alright, let's lift this up and see. What that looks like. So pretty neat. I might just go around the edge here, see if I can clean this up a little bit or add a little more in. So, you know what would have been nice is, let's see if I could line this back up. Probably not the smartest idea I've had. But, okay, I'm going to put the stencil there. Take another scrap piece here to black it off. And then go in and fill in up to this line. And it's, the consistency is getting dry as I work. I can feel it. So you do kind of have to work fast. Let's see what that. So interesting, but probably what I should have started with to begin with was to put the line there. But yeah, it's looking interesting to me, and I'm going to let these dry, and I'll come back, and I'm going to clean up and let this dry and come back and show you what these things look like. Okay, so our results. I used a heat gun to dry this, and so here is the texture paste. That was the eye zinc texture paste, and it has a smooth, thin coat. I can feel it. It is raised from the surface, but it is very metallic, and the lines are really nice and crisp, except where my stencil failed over here. Compared to the Spackle paste, it's thicker. It obviously can give you the crisp lines, and you know, you can bend it and it's not cracking, it's not brushing off. This isn't either, of course. So side by side, that's the difference. Of course, this has a lot more metallic in it. I don't know if we would have used like a metallic paint here, what that would have looked like. And, you know, the liquid paint would have given it more fluid, like what the water, what I'm trying to say is when I sprayed it with the water, what that would do. So here's the one that I'm kind of messed up, and I can see the sparkle mica powder in it, subtle, very subtle. It is thicker and thinner in some areas, and the thicker ones I can brush them off. It looks more like chalk to me. It feels rough. This feels smooth. So that's kind of the difference. And just to show you a couple of the other ones, I didn't get, you know, clean, perfect stencil, but not bad here. I went in to see if I could actually, you know, move it or remove it. So with my fingernail here, I am able to kind of clean that up and move it over. I would say very, very small amounts. You could do that too. And then I have these white ones. Kind of a learning curve with these. It was thick. You can see it's globbed up here, and I could probably crumble. Yeah, I could crack and crumble that off just because, can you see that? Because I got it so thick there. And here's another one with just the white. Not bad. It works. The thicker the area, the longer it's going to take to dry, and probably more than likely something that you could rub off. But for the money, this was $1. I don't know the price on this. I'll look it up and put it in the comments below. I mean, this is beautiful product, but it does get expensive. Whereas if you have some spackling, you know, you can kind of do your own thing with it and get similar results, I would say. Not exact results, but similar results. So hope you find this helpful and useful. And I would love for you to like this and leave a comment if you have any, as well as, you know, give a thumbs up or subscribe to my channel. So thanks for watching, and I will hopefully see you here again.